Hello, I'm Tanisha Jones, and today we will be discussing the voice. I decided to do my presentation on voice because I'm actually an on-air personality and a professional voiceover talent. And so I have to use my voice effectively to each and every audience that I'm reaching. So my show is entitled Inspirational Moments with Tanisha, and so the show is dealing with inspirational things, so I have to be very soothing, very calming, and just make sure it sounds inspirational. I also do other things like commercials and things like that, and it basically deals with pitch, tone, and just how I'm saying the words. So I'll go ahead and get to the PowerPoint slide. You do have a copy of it, so follow with me. That way you can see what I'm showing you just in case the computer is not visible. Okay, it says the voice. Your voice creates a message. So speech is how words are used, and voice is how sound is created and interpreted to your listeners. Verbal expression, using your voice effectively will enhance your presentation. Basically, it deals with the pace, the energy, the enthusiasm, volume, pitch, silence, and a pause. When you're speaking to listeners, just like on the radio, they can't really see you, so they follow your voice. Your voice actually creates a picture. It's different than TV. TV, you have audio and video, so it's easier to follow along, and you can actually see the picture as well. Your voice is the best presentation of you, so use your own voice. Try not to imitate someone else or someone else's sound or tone. Your voice is what you have to represent who you are. Every situation is a platform for you to create your own voice. So if you're at a professional environment, you want to be very professional, making sure you're using the right uh, words and pronunciations and even the tone. You want to be very, very loud as if you were at a baseball game or out with your friends or family. There you can kind of let your hair down and just be you. So make sure you're using the best representation of your voice for you. I wanted to use this video. I thought it was very, very cool because we all know about Siri. So it basically gives us just a little insight. I'm only going to use a few minutes of the video just to let you guys, for one, see who Siri is, and then hear the voice and see how she came up with it. So give me one moment to put this in the, let's see. Okay, let me minimize this. Okay, here we go.
Here to help. There was one Halloween where a child came to the front door and said, "Oh, I'm a neighbor say you're Siri." And I said, "Yes, I am." And he said, "You don't sound like Siri." And I said, "How about now?" Well, I started off in this business as a singer and musician. And this was many years ago when they used to do commercial jingles and they would have groups of people recording in the studio at the same time. And I was one of those lucky folks. One day the voice talent didn't show up and the owner of the studio said, "Susan, you don't have an accent. Come over here and read this copy." And I thought, okay. So I did that and I thought, well, this is something I can do. So I got a voice coach and an agent and that was that. First time I appeared as a machine or representing a machine was for Tilly the Old Time Teller for First National Bank of Atlanta, and it was at a time when ATMs were just being introduced, and everyone was afraid to use them. No one wanted to go get their money from a machine. So they got me to sing the jingle as Tilly the Old Time Teller. I'm Tilly the Old Time Teller. I work for First National Bank. The vocabulary that ultimately became the original voice of Siri was recorded in 2005, the whole month of July, 4 hours a day, 5 days a week. And what we did was read hundreds and hundreds of sentences and phrases that were created solely for sound. Say fluff, see Ethel today. Say see as fluster today. And after the recordings were done, technicians went in and extracted sounds and reformed new phrases and sentences. And these are what ended up on the digital devices. This process is called concatenation. And the thing that made Siri, the original Siri, so iconic is because she was the first concatenated voice that sounded pretty human, and you could interact with her. Previously, all of the concatenated voices sounded like, hello, how are you? The original Siri was introduced on October 4th, 2011, and that's when I found out. A fellow voice actor emailed me and said, hey, we're playing around with this new iPhone. Isn't this you? And I went, what? And went to the Apple site and checked it out and said, yes, that's me. They changed all of the original Siri voices with the OS 7 system. And many people can't tell the difference, but of course, to me, it's very obvious. At this point in time, because I have done so much digital recording, and I don't know whether that's a compliment or not, I ended up being on a lot of different.
Okay. Okay, so I incorporated that video because it actually did go with our class talking about theater robotics and how robotics and machines are being used a lot today. And we have Alexa, we have Google Home, and as we see, Siri. And so she said it started out as being used for the ATM machine, just hearing a voice making it more personable because it showed that people didn't really want to use that machine until it had a voice activator to make it feel like it was like a human, like it was someone there to interact with. And so I do know that that's what people look for today is in social interaction. Everybody's on Facebook and all this different social media. So basically, the voice is very effective when we're using communication. So from the sound of your voice, listeners can make an assumption and a judgment about you and how to feel about you and your ideas that you're presenting. It tells a story by your voice, and it impacts the listeners. I actually had the website, my website, where people could check me out and see what I do and hear samples of my voice. So I'm going to go ahead and let you guys hear just a sample of a couple of things that I have, just because, like I said, it deals with your tone, your pitch, and your audience of who you're trying to reach. So I'm going to let you guys hear one of these samples of the commercial to go with the video, just so you guys can see this in the presentation. One moment. Okay, let me go ahead and play this one. We are excited to be a part of your next event, Fars Transportation. What drives us drives you. Passion, safety, and our unique Fars touch of class gives you a special door-to-door experience. So make sure you call us now to be a part of your next event or your next getaway and leave the driving to us. Fars Transportation. Okay, that was for a car transportation service. They wanted something that sounded kind of calming, soothing, inviting to the listeners. So basically, they would want to ride with Fars Transportation for their next event. Whether they're coming from the airport, getting just transportation, they wanted it to be where the listener would feel comfortable. And so that's why they wanted a voice like mine. One more. Let's see. Step out in style with Havana Shoes. Havana Shoes is guaranteed to deliver comfort and style. No matter your age, send a message of style with Havana Shoes. Log on to www.havanashoes.com. Also, make sure you like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. You can come into the store at 2934 East X Street or call us at 318-742-2261. Get your brand new pair of Havana Shoes today. We're locally owned and located in Shreveport, Bossier, HavanaShoes.com. Okay, and on that one, it was kind of the same thing, pretty much, where they wanted it to sound like it was a local person, not somebody that you paid to come in. Maybe it would have sounded as if I was an original customer. So the elements of voice is pitch, volume, rhythm, and timbre. Select keywords, tones, and phrases to provide clarity in your message. This is very significant to your listeners. Make sure you project your voice. Now, that's a little difficult for me. I don't know what it is. I have a different voice that I use at home, which I actually have a stage personality, which is Tanisha J, and then I have Tanisha Jones. Tanisha Jones is more loud. It's me. But when I do Tanisha J, for some odd reason, my voice doesn't project. It actually, for some odd reason, goes in. So any event I go to, my team has to mic me and make sure that the volume is up for me. I don't know why it does that, but that's what it does, and we're having to work on that. The vibrations can literally be used to measure the audio frequency, as well as any kind of music can be measured. The meaning and effectiveness of a spoken line is greatly dependent on the melody of its inflection. The sound of your voice makes a strong impression. Find your voice. What others think about you stems from the power of your voice. It can be said that your voice can reveal a lot about you. Also about your life experience in general and social, cultural, developmental, and psychological conditioning of a particular sound. Your voice is the primary mode of your self-expression. When you speak, air rushes from your lungs and makes your vocal cords vibrate, producing the sound of your voice. So this is why we have new technology. Like I said, Alexa, it basically deals with your tone, and Siri, it deals with how you say what you say. Because some words, if you don't pronounce it right, it'll pull up something else. So you have to make sure that when you're using your voice, you're using it effectively, especially with the new technology that we have. How quickly or slowly you talk over the course of your speech will change your voice, and it also changes the quality over the course of your speech. How you say it, it really matters. Like I said, it really matters when we're dealing with the different technology systems as far as Google Home, Google Voice, even security. They have voice activated um, security cameras, and even how we saw in the lab when we were using the robots in there. Just certain things that we said, certain words, and how you said it triggered different things with the robots and the technology. And so this is actually the end of the presentation. And so I wanted to just make sure that you think about Siri and even Google Voice and Google Home and Alexa when you are using these devices. Think about listening to the voice, listening how the voice sounds, and then listening to how you sound and the words you say, and then try to do a different punctuation, different tone, just to see how the different changes work with the different devices that you're using. Thank you for taking time to look at my video and presentation. Thank you.